Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to have a subscriber requested video which is using two dark horses, and we're going to start with the middleweight and welterweight division. So thank you Matthew Robertson for suggesting this, because it's a very good video idea, and sorry for the delay in the uploads. I had a Chris Cyborg video scheduled, and then I saw that comment and I thought let me make this one instead. So this will be in the latest season. I think it will be around Division 15 gameplay, and the first fighter we are starting with is going to be Gunnar Nelson. Now, these aren't necessarily going to be fighters you haven't heard of. These are just going to be fighters that I think are the dark horses of the division. So Gunnar Nelson is definitely that in the welterweight division. I mean, he's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu. He's got the ability to control anyone in the weight class on the ground, and off his back he's phenomenal. So in a weight class that's stacked with wrestlers, and in my opinion I think probably the best weight class to play in the game, that and bantamweight, it's very good to have the ability to fight against these high level wrestlers and also have the ability to stand. The only annoying thing with the gameplay that I did end up getting was that I did get two Nate Diaz fights with Gunnar Nelson, so I didn't get to mix it up and showcase him against someone like Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, Hamzat Chimaev, the elites of the elite of the division. But this was obviously near enough right after Nate had the fight with Tony, so it's understandable that everyone's going to be using Nate Diaz. So yeah, that's the only annoying thing with the gameplay, but you can see the karate stance and the push kicks work very, very well when using Gunnar Nelson. But predominantly you do want to get the fight to the ground, just because when it comes to the stand-up, he can hang with some of the best there is, but it's when he gets to the ground that he really does excel. And you'll see that when this fight does end up on the ground with someone as good as Nate Diaz, who's phenomenal off his back, that you really have no problem with Gunnar Nelson. You can really just ride through the transitions, look to deny, and look to get submission finishes. He's got decent ground and pound as well, which I will showcase, and yeah, you can just have really good time with him. So if you are looking to use someone that's a bit different, someone that you won't often see on ranked, then this is the man to go for. And now when we go to the middleweight division, it will be someone that is very, very well known, and it's not someone that I've made a video in the past titled Dark Horse. That was Jared Cannonier, and I thought I didn't want to include him again because at the moment he is quite on a high right now, and I am coming up against him more often. My definition of a dark horse is just someone that isn't utilised a lot in ranked. So whenever you go on ranked, it's not someone that you would predominantly come up against. Like, how many of you have come up against Gunnar Nelson on ranked? If you play 10 games in the welterweight division, I pretty much guarantee all those 10 you will not face Gunnar Nelson once. So yeah, that's why I decided to use him, and he just is really, really good. I mean, if you're good on the ground or even looking to get better on the ground, he's definitely someone that you can look to utilise. Ground and pound's very good, as you can see here, doing a very, very good amount of damage there to Nate Diaz whilst on top. And it's just about being patient, looking for the right transitions. There's only 10 seconds left of this round, and he also does have very good takedowns. I don't find it too difficult to get takedowns unless it's in the centre of the octagon. So if you are looking to get takedowns with Gunnar Nelson, I really would recommend using the fence or looking to utilise some trips or the judo throw. In order to get the takedowns, I would not shoot in the middle of the octagon unless you have to, unless you're getting pressure and you feel like that's the way to alleviate pressure. Then that's understandable, but from my recommendations, I would look to use the cage in order to get the takedowns. You can see the side kick's a good tool to knock them off balance and then get into the clinch without having to initiate a clinch attempt. And then off that clinch attempt, look to get the fight straight onto the ground or push towards the cage. I mean, that situation there, you can see I looked for the judo throw, when in hindsight I probably should have pushed Nate Diaz along to the fence and then looked to get the takedown there. But you can see right now the combinations are flying really, really well. You can see that he's got very crisp hands. I mean, in terms of power, compared to the rest of the division, obviously isn't going to be overwhelming. He's not got like Jorge Masvidal power, Gilbert Burns power, even McGregor power in this division, but he definitely has enough to cause damage. I mean, Nate's very, very durable. We'll know how good his health stats are, but right now you can see that flowing really well, switching stances, and not even forcing the fight to go to the ground right now. I mean, that distance manager's not there just to know to step back, because I knew he was going to let rip some combos, waste his stamina, and then you know, throw that push kick just to punish that stamina even more. And that's one thing with Nate you've got to look to do, is take out the legs and try and drain that stamina, because if not, it's got to be a long 3 rounds, because Nate can just constantly pressure, absorb those strikes, and then off those strikes just overwhelm you. Your block will get broken down, and then it will just be an easy sort of block break finish for the Nate Diaz fighter. So it's very important that you eliminate that as quick as possible. But you can see here that he just decides, yeah, I've had enough, and quits. And I was going to look for the submission finish there. So here we're coming up against someone in Division 17 and also a Nate Diaz player. So while this gameplay goes on quickly, I just want to say a huge thank you for all the support. I had a very busy week after I got back from my holiday, so I wasn't able to upload as much as I'd like. I think it's gone 8 days without uploading, but we're going to get back on schedule. Next video should probably be out by Friday, and that might be a Chris Cyborg video. The takedown video that I was working on is taking a lot of time, just because I want to make that video very good. And yeah, so just be patient with that. That should be coming in the near future, hopefully an Aldo video and also a Nate Diaz video, as we're coming up against him here. But yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Like I said, if there is any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. If you want to play me, whatever it is, let me know and we'll work something out. I should be trying to get a best of 3 in with Jay Geezer. And if you want to get in direct contact with me, there is a Twitter link in my description in every video. So yeah, please feel free to comment, and once again, thank you guys so much for the support. It means a lot. So getting into the actual fight here, you can see early on I'm pressuring, looking to rip the body. And one thing with Gunnar Nelson is, I don't know what it is, but on the game it feels like he's got that dog in him. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it feels like he has that heart. Like, he can get knocked down, and when I get back up, I'm not overly worried. I mean, I can just keep on pushing forward. And against Nate Diaz, once you get knocked once, it's normally very difficult. It's going to be downhill from there, because the pressure becomes overwhelming. And once you allow yourself to get pressurized against a Nate Diaz player, it's going to be a long 3 rounds for you. And if it's a 5-round fight, it's even worse, because Nate does not tire. So the body work is of extreme importance in this fight here, and you can see that's exactly what I'll try utilize, and going for the legs to mitigate that power from Nate Diaz. So you can see quite clearly, I mean, this is a Division 17 player, so he's obviously skilled, and you can see that quite clearly Gunnar Nelson can definitely hang with the some of the good fighters in the welterweight division. Of course, it's Nate Diaz who isn't the best of the best in the division. However, he's got very useful skills, very good clean boxing, very durable, amazing cardio, and when it comes to the ground, we all know how good Nate Diaz is. So what you'll see in this gameplay is me controlling the Nate fight, taking some damage here and there, showing that Gunnar Nelson's got that dog in him, can be able to recover and persevere, can rip the body, can rip the legs, clean boxing, clean karate. And not only that, when the fight does go to the ground, you'll see the sheer dominance that can be displayed when using Gunnar Nelson correctly. And I'll definitely make more videos on him in the future. I think after this welterweight / middleweight Dark Horses video, I think I might try do a lightweight one or a bantamweight one. We'll see how it goes. This might be a series on the channel. I'll see how well this one does, but I'm assuming that you guys will like content like this, especially now that the game's been out for a while now and everyone's using the same fighters over and over. It's good to just diversify and have some fun with it. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, let me know what weight class you want to see next in the comments below. But as I said, you will see in this fight more of the ground game aspect with Gunnar Nelson. And you can see here, this guy's really trying to set up that question mark head kick, because that question mark head kick is ridiculously fast, especially when you use someone that's very good at kickboxing. Like, whenever I use Leon Edwards and I set that up, the way it springs is just crazy quick and ends up knocking out a lot of people. But Nate Diaz here has been throwing it quite a few times, you know, leaving it there, showing me that that's exactly what he wants. And right now I thought would be a perfect time to mix up and go for a takedown. And yeah, when using Gunnar Nelson, he's definitely a complete MMA fighter. I mean, he can do pretty much everything to a decent degree, and then obviously excels in certain aspects, and that would be obviously the ground game. That's where he definitely excels, and you have to put him in with the elite of the division, like for instance Gilbert Burns and Damien Mine. You can see here, great reversal, had the stamina advantage, blocked the hook coming down from Nate Diaz as he goes for the Kimura here, and again, not really worried. Stamina's in a decent position, and Gunnar Nelson can get out of submissions fairly well. My opponent, of course, high level, realizes this, cancels the transition, because the longer that went on, I think if you get out at a certain point, you end up in side control. So being wise to it, understood the position he was in, and decided to opt out, save stamina, and just stay in half guard, even though I think half guard's a very dangerous position, especially when you filter in the ground and pound that you can throw after posturing up, and the transitions you can get if you have a stamina advantage, like the free transition to top mount or the free transition to side control. So I do think half guard's one of the better positions to be in the game. So yeah, he opted to stay in there rather than side control, which is understandable, because you know, nobody wants to get elbow spammed from there, or look, that Kimura finish, because everyone knows how good that Kimura is if you watch my videos. The Kimura from side control is one of the best submissions in the game, because you chain it to the armbar and it's just ridiculously quick, and this opponent obviously knew this. But you can see here the stamina advantage is really, really key when grappling. That's why it's very important that if you're grappling, when you are on the feet, you look to initiate work to the body and drain your opponent's stamina, so that way when you get onto the ground, it's going to be a much easier way of you passing guards and looking to advance position, no matter where you are, because the draining of stamina is really what can win you the fight if you're looking to work on the ground. And that's one thing that I see when I'm playing ranked, is people make mistakes on, is that when they're on the feet, they're not looking to drain that body, and as a grappler myself, that's one thing I'm constantly looking to do, is absolutely work that body, because you know, taking away that stamina is the best thing you can do if you're looking to out wrestle your opponent, because even if you throw a double leg in the middle of the octagon and they're looking to deny it, you can really drive it, you can chain your takedowns, and if they don't have the stamina to match yours, it will be a lot easier to get those chain takedowns. So that's definitely something that you guys should look to implement, especially when using Gunnar Nelson. You can see that I'm really focused on absolutely ripping the body wherever possible, and it really does play dividends when you get onto the ground and you have a stamina advantage. So back into side control here, back into a very dominant position, and from here you can see landing elbows, just predicting where he's going to go, looking to get these deniers off, deny the full guard transition, and it's just little things like that where knowing Nate Diaz, knowing he has that transition, it can really save you some time. He still ends up getting into the rubber guard, which is extremely dangerous. He reverses the position into side control. But from here again, I'm very comfortable. I'm not bothered. I've also got the full guard sweep, which obviously, unless you come up against Gunnar Nelson or just used him in the past, you may not know he has. And this is why I think he's such a dark horse, because people don't really realise the threat until they're on the ground, until it's too late. And then once you're on the ground getting controlled, or the submission attempts are flying left and right, the ground and pound is flowing, that's when you realise, like, oh okay, like I'm facing a dangerous man here. And I think you can catch a lot, and I mean a lot, of people out in ranked with Gunnar Nelson. I think where he's a 4-star fighter, if I remember correctly, you'll get more division points if you win with him. So if you're someone that does care about their division points and wants to maximise the points they get per fight, using lower rated fighters like Gunnar Nelson will obviously give you more points per win and less points lost per loss. So yeah, if that is something that catches your eye and that's something that you do actively do, Gunnar Nelson could definitely be your man, because he will catch out a lot of people in this welterweight division. And you can see right now that the head health of Nate Diaz just isn't there. I'm going for that big head kick, and he throws the uppercut, I throw the hook, and that's all she wrote. So we're getting on to the next fighter here. That was the Gunnar Nelson portion of the video, and we're going to be using Kevin Holland. Now, I know what people are going to say if they're watching the video, like, how can he be a dark horse? He's very well known, blah blah blah. He's a welterweight now, which yeah, he is, and he isn't on the game, because if this guy was at welterweight, he'd be even more of a monster. But from my experience, if you have 10 middleweight fights, you're just not gonna come up against Kevin Holland. Maybe once, twice at most. So, in my opinion, he's still a dark horse. And you can see here coming up against a Division 16 fighter that's beat me before. And what makes this guy so special is just the power in his hands. Like, I wish I could showcase to you more of his grappling side, but he's just so damn powerful, rangy. He's got the length, and when it does go to the ground, he's got rubber guard. He's got good submissions, good transitions, and just overall, he's very, very difficult to fight against, because even if you rock him, he can get up and he can just sleep you, like, effortlessly, as if it's just a normal thing. And whenever I use Kevin Holland, I have so much fun, and I think it's someone that he's definitely underappreciated and underutilized at middleweight, just because there's a lot of good fighters. There's Rob Whittaker, there's Israel Adesanya, there's Vettori, there's Paulo Costa, there's Yoel Romero, like, there's Hamzat Chimaev. Everyone will go to these guys, and no one will pick Kevin Holland. Like, the other pick I was going to have was Jared Cannonier, but just because I've already had a video on him where I literally said that he is the dark horse of the division, and that was, I'm not sure how long ago that was, but that was a while ago. I didn't want to make another division using Jared Cannonier because I have come up against him a bit more often ever since he's been, ever since I've made that video, and whereas I don't really come up against Kevin Holland that much, so I thought it'd be better to showcase to you guys Kevin Holland. So you saw how quick that first fight ended, and that was against Robert Whittaker, and everyone knows how good Rob Whittaker is on this game, right? Everyone knows he's extremely durable, fantastic striking. He just doesn't really, he doesn't feel real how good Rob Whittaker is. I mean, losses to him shouldn't even count because he's just so damn good at the game. He's so good at everything. So Kevin Holland sleeping him like that against someone that's beat me before, so you know they're at a decent level, and he just absolutely slept him, landed that filthy uppercut, dropped him, and then that's all she wrote, got on top, and then finished with the ground and pound. And that's what you can look to do with Kevin Holland. You can see there I've been uber aggressive, get knocked down by Rob, and I let Rob get on top of me here. I'm not too worried. I let Rob get on top and tried to transition to full guard, and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Tried to get me into crucifix, which is the right thing to do. We get that full guard transition, and from here I'm just waiting to see what he does, because I do have rubber guards. So get into the rubber guard transition here, and I'm 100% sure I denied this transition, by the way, like 100%, because I knew he was going to stack. Rob does the right thing and realises, look, this is not it. I'm going to get up because I think I have a better chance on the feet than I do on the ground, because Kevin Holland is really slick, and a lot of people don't expect those transitions from Kevin Holland, the full guard, the rubber guard. And having rubber guard is such a huge lifesaver, because if you can trap whoever you're fighting there, in this case Rob Whittaker, and land those elbows, it rinses the head health, and then you can advance to a decent position. So you can see I'm pressing forwards here, trying to land that beautiful uppercut, because that does so much damage with Kevin Holland, and he just feels powerful. And it's, again, look, that same uppercut drops him, knees, uppercut, body, 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 and yeah, you can just see that Rob is in the world of trouble. Roundhouse to the body, jump on top, and that is going to be the end of the fight. So it's a shame the Kevin Holland fights weren't a bit longer. I couldn't show you adversity against a wrestler like Vettori, even though I did get taken down there against Rob. You know, it wasn't the end of the world. It was fairly easy to get up from. But yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you once again for all the support. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new around here, subscribe for more UFC 4 content, and I'll see you next time.